Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing tonight? Let me move this cord around. Jeffrey, you did arrive. Good timing. Um, we definitely waited for you to start, so welcome. Glad you're here. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Tuesday. Hope you had a good day. I've had a pretty good day. I don't know if you've been watching things go down over on Twitter, or X as it's called now, but Square Enix posted a photo, a key art photo that mirrors the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Cloud and Zack image, except they replaced it with Tifa and Aerith. And people have been losing their minds. There's a big shipping war in Final Fantasy VII fandom, if you didn't know. It is insane. Insane. Part 2, dang, looks like you missed one. So, hey, how you doing? Hey, Ro. Garcia. Good to see you. Good to see you. Part 2 of the Shadow Self. Yeah, we did... we planned to do the entire Shadow Self Ifrit lecture on Thursday, but the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer dropped, and so we spent like 40 minutes talking about that. So we had to push part of that to this one. And so who knows how far we'll get tonight. We're a little off schedule, which is totally par for the course for all of my classes. If any of my students were to ever hop in chat, they would respond, yeah. Wade definitely does not stick to the syllabus very well. You're late for class. You're good, Darth. How are you tonight? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're just vibing to this music right now. This sweet East Pool music, town music. It's nice, isn't it? It's a good day. It's a good day. It's good to be with you, everybody. Hope your day was good. Mine was pretty good. We finally got air conditioning back in my building. We have been without air conditioning for a little bit, and that's not great for the Alabama heat. But we're good. We're good now. Less sweat today. In fact, I actually wore long sleeves today for that reason. Doing great. Just watching some Meltdown on Twitter already. Man, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's not good to watch people like, you know, really struggle with this sort of thing, but it is bonkers. People liked Aerith, but it was always supposed to be Tifa. Oh, Hero. You're right. You're right. Cloud and Tifa, man. Like, I'm a big Cloud Tifa fan, but not because like I'm like making my identity about that. It's just like they're childhood friends, sweethearts, I guess, and plus, it's like, I mean, spoilers, they end up together in the original, and in Advent Children. I mean, it's not like the happiest of families, but they are a happy-ish family by the end. I bought the soundtrack as soon as it came out. Lost Wing is your favorite town music? Yeah, Lost Wing's got some great music to it. All right, well, instead of me just like vamping about all this, let's go ahead and get started tonight. Who knows? We're going to try to get far tonight. We're going to start with some side quests, then we're going to go into the Shadow Self. Let me introduce myself first of all, though. Hey, everybody, I'm ProfNoctis, real name Wade, and it's really good to be with you tonight. If this is your first time in the chat and on the stream, hey, thanks for watching. It'll never get old meeting new people through this silly this silly thing that I do, right? But just to let you know, I am a professor at the University of Alabama. I teach a number of classes, but included in them is one that is on Judeo-Christian kingship and Final Fantasy 15. And so I am very excited to get into some of this stuff. I teach religion and video games at the University of Alabama, which is pretty cool. So let's see. A lot of people in the chat tonight. Hey, thanks for hopping in. Made it just in time to begin. Awesome. Hey, what's up, potatoes? Leon, don't have a preference between Tifa and Aerith. Both are amazing. They are both amazing, aren't they? They're great. Darth, what's your thought on the FF Union video? I was about to go to that. That was in my announcement sections on my my thing. Hey, wait, I might not make it to church tomorrow. Got media day picks for basketball. Oh, and it's so good to see you. So everybody, I work with the teenagers at my local church, and Owen, what's up, buddy? I'm so glad that you hopped in tonight. Got media day picks for basketball. I hope you enjoy it, man. Next, let's see. Cloud wanted to be a soldier to impress her, which set fate in motion. Oh boy, you played some Ever Crisis, huh? King Saint Michael, what's up, bud? Class is in session. Happy Tuesday, man. It's so good to see you. So good to see you, man. We got some OGs in here tonight. This is good. We got some people from the earliest days of stream. Michael, you were here from the very beginning. Like we've kind of evolved a little bit, haven't we? Man, it's good. It's good to see everybody tonight. Hey, since Darth mentioned it, I wanted to make sure that I got it right. I wanted to go ahead and show you what he's talking about.
Now that the dust has settled on Final Fantasy XVI,
hang on one sec.
It felt like the perfect time to do an update.
So, Final Fantasy Union, if you don't follow these guys, they are absolutely incredible. Some of the deepest dives into Final Fantasy content on the internet. But they have a recently released video. I think it released yesterday, as a matter of fact. But in their video, or on their site, they actually have a new survey that is asking people to do... Why can't I move anything on it? Anyway, on this website on YouTube, if you go to their stuff, they have a survey for Final Fantasy XVI. If you've played the game, even if you haven't played much of it, go in and take that survey. It's really, really good research. They do these surveys occasionally, and it really adds some data to some of the things that we're trying to do. As a research guy myself, I love this stuff, but go and fill it out. It's great stuff. Even if you haven't beaten the game, if only it's playing this or watching this stream, that's a great thing to do. So anyway, go support them. They are awesome. Final Fantasy Union. Daryl. Yeah, Daryl has that soothing British voice. I was on a call with him not too long ago, maybe about 6 months ago, and we just talked Final Fantasy, and it was just so fun. And just a good guy all around. Really, really, really good guy. So he and Lauren are phenomenal over there. So go give them a follow for sure. And definitely fill out that survey. Hope you're doing great. I am doing great. More of a Renoa guy, Leon says. Renoa's from Final Fantasy VIII. Let's see. Doing good. I'm an old veteran. You are. And I'm finally going to start Final Fantasy XVI. Congratulations, King St. Michael. I got busy playing Rain Code on the Switch, but can finally continue playing 16. I stopped playing when I got to the first small hidden city after you see Jill. Yeah, okay. Don't spoil anything. You're right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and dive into it, everybody. Let's do it. So tonight we are going to do some side quests for a little bit. Also, man, the side quests in this game have gotten a lot of heat. But I will tell you, I mostly like the side quests. In fact, Streamlabs is promoting my side quest video right now. If you haven't seen, I posted a side quest video yesterday called What Makes a Good Side Quest, where I use actual data out of Florida State University. A researcher named John Keller. I think he is now retired, but he was formerly the head of the Instructional Technologies Department. Make sure you go check out that video. I talk about The Witcher 3. I talk about Yakuza. I talk about Tears of the Kingdom. There's a pretty good segment on that and those side quests. But go check out that video and hang out for some other videos as well. Darth Ace, great lore but bad design. Okay. Oh, there we go. My biggest gripe with the side quests is just how they kill the pacing. Yeah, they do kill the pacing in a lot of ways. Somebody in the comments mentioned that they thought... I don't need to go down there. I actually need to come back to Martha's Rest. Let's go there. Somebody actually said that their first playthrough, they didn't do any of the side quests, and they felt the pacing was pretty good. And I'm really interested in that. Now, that can't be me. I'm going for the platinum here, so... Your video on side quest was really good. Hey, thank you, Hero. My 2 cents, I thought the very first food delivery side quest was a simple quest, but it was pretty worthwhile. Hey, I appreciate the comments. That first delivery side quest was pretty good because it gives you some context as to like why you're doing things and what the hideaway is, and I love that.
You don't know a man called Norris, do you?
I do, as it happens. He ran off that way not too long back. Looked like he was in a right old hurry. And he had a lantern with him for some reason. Never known him to stay out after dark.
He was making for the marshes then. All right. Thank you.
So Clive can see what the hideout means to people living there as we are newcomers and don't know Sid's plan. Yeah, it's great for world building, right? And that's what I said in the video. Like the side quests in this game, they are stunning when it comes to relevance to the world. Like they're showing off all of the different ways that the world interacts, and I love that. My only fault with it is that it gets a little samey gameplay wise, you know, go here, kill this, return, that sort of thing, and that can be kind of a pain in some ways. That's why I offered a little bit of insight as to something they could have done differently. Savla, I think the game is easy enough that you don't need side quests to clear, but I just can't play with all those exclamations. Yeah, for real, right? The completionist in me does not allow for it to happen.
This should be interesting.
I did all the side quests, felt a little torn on their quality. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do this. I have got to change up my iconic abilities. All of these iconic abilities that I'm using right now were for capturing video for the side quest video. Ridiculous. Okay, let's go. Alright, let's get him. Ah, that's so cool. Also, everybody, we are playing on hard mode, or Final Fantasy mode, so. House Cat Alex, I did all the side quests and felt torn on their quality. Yeah, when they're good, they're really good, and when they're not, get a little tedious. I found that the quest giver bookending side quest to be very tired by the time you get to the end of the game. Hey, conjugate voices, that's actually a really good point. Not every side quest needs to function the same way every time. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Love their expositional content. It was a hard grind. Okay, how do I go back? It was a hard grind to get them done. The side quests were the last things they did for the game. They focused mainly on the main story. And that's fair. I mean, the main story is pretty darn flawless. There's a little bit in the middle that I think that they could have expedited, but beyond that, I felt pretty good. Oh, there's a retrieved lamp.
A lantern. The one Norris was carrying, no doubt. At least I know which way he went.
At least. Give me 1 second, everybody. I see that my camera is not as zoomed in as I typically like it, so I gotta let you see my face, you know? No need to see that curtain over there. There we go. That's better. Okay, yeah. Hello. Okay, where are we? That's why the pacing is off. Yeah. Let's head back up there, I guess. Is that all of the ones? No, there's one right over here.
Someone made short work
In the middle, if you will. Oh, that is so lame. Hey, Norris. You gotta be Norris, right? Yep.
Norris, I presume.
Leave me be.
You were never branded. So that's how you stayed hidden.
Ronald sent you after me, did he? Set an Imperial dog on his best friend. And when we were so close. I'll never forget the hatred in his eyes. But it doesn't matter now. I will not become a slave. As one bearer to another, please. Don't do this. You know how they treat our kind.
Ronald didn't send me. One of Martha's men did. He wanted to make sure you were safe.
I don't understand.
10-2 Platinum? I have not done the
Martha takes
10-2
it,
Platinum. Streamlabs is going off tonight.
You can trust her.
Sorry.
Believe me.
Sorry about that. I'm going to change up the frequency. But
I can't say I'm surprised, though. She has a kind heart. Kinder than most.
Just wait here and stay out of sight. You'll be among friends soon enough.
Thank you. There's few would have been so kind. And sorry. You're no Imperial dog. Far from it.
I've been called worse. Oh, I found a lantern back there. I assume it's yours.
there we go.
Thanks. I dropped it when those creatures attacked me. But if I'm honest, I wasn't all that sorry to be rid of it. Ron gave it to me.
Oh,
All right. I'll keep hold of it.
there we go.
I might be able to use it to put an end to the Imperial surge before it begins.
Y'all, I'm sorry. I reset Streamlabs, and I think it's just resetting the timer.
Who lived for
So if you're getting spammed by Streamlabs right now, I'm sorry. I think I fixed it, but we'll deal with it a little bit more. It just spammed you guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me fix some of that. The timers are all lining up, and I hate it. Okay, let's take some of this out here. How about we take out this guy for tonight, and we'll keep that one in. Okay, maybe this will work now. Maybe. We'll see. Turn off and turn back on. It may spam us again at first. I'm trying to be kind to the user experience tonight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. What hurts side quests? We're going to the same areas over and over again. Yep, that's true. Hey, Mr. Matt, how you doing? According to my calendar today, on stream is supposed to be Mother Crystals and Rama. Yeah, so that's what it's supposed to be. But it is. We got to finish up the Facing the Shadow part of the lecture first because we got a little sidetracked with the 7 Rebirth trailer on Thursday. But we're gonna try to grind through. Right now we're finishing up some side quests real quick, and then we're gonna go head on. But yeah, we're gonna do our best to get to the Mother Crystals. Fingers crossed. Got a lot of work to do. Hello.
There you are, Clive. How goes the search?
Well branded. Have you found the bastard yet?
Only what was left of him.
Alex, I agree.
Corpse, torn apart by monsters.
It really does show how hateful people can be toward others. Yeah.
Let me see that.
Oh, Leon, yeah, absolutely. You are so
Shall we
right.
consider that the end of the matter then? Or do you need to see a body?
No.
I love the way they did him in Remake.
I've no use for bearer bones. He's dead. Let that be an end to it. Only wish those whose job it was had done what they were supposed to do and spotted him sooner.
Matt, you can go back to Thursday's stream, and at the very beginning, I talk about
Want anything to do with
Rebirth.
me now, eh?
Yeah.
There goes the bearer lover, they'll say. I'll be a laughing stock.
Pretty excited by that trailer, Conjugate. Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh.
Is it true, Clive?
My hype is only
Is Norris
getting bigger.
really-
He's alive. You'll find him in a hut in the marshes. He's expecting you.
Oh, you crafty. Still, you did the right thing. Thank you. It's not much considering, but please, take this.
My stream froze. What was the loud laugh about? I think all of my Streamlabs spamming. That's what it was, Hogan. Just got home from work. Sorry I'm late to class. Lady of the Rings, I'm so glad you're here. How are you tonight? You haven't missed much. We're just doing side quests. And I promise you, we're not doing side quests just because I just did a video on side quests. I wish my wallet were as big as my hype. Pasavla, that's all of us right now.
Yours, I presume.
Foul Crystal. If this was a free choice game, I would have killed a lot of these anti-bears. All right, Hoven.
Oh, thank you.
That's the shadow self talking. I don't know. Maybe it's a pure self. I'm not really sure.
longer out in the sun, and my catch would have made for poor eating indeed.
Be more careful next time.
Oh, I will, I promise.
I think it's so interesting, the
No
utilization
point
of these
casting the nets of
crystals
a morning if I'm
to
without a
conjure
crystal
up
to see
magic.
the catch to town. There was a time honest tax-paying folk could get new ones whenever they wanted. Can't now, though, not for love nor money. Crystals are scarce, and the Empire tightens its purse strings more every day. Lose this little beauty again, and I might as well scrap my nets and take to begging.
Take to begging. Alright, there's one more side quest we got to do. I'm great, excited for the rest of the stream. Yeah, well, you made it just in time. We're, like I said, we're just doing side quests. And everybody, I do got to say, if you haven't gone over to see my side quest video yet, please go. Would love to know your comments on it. It was a lot of fun to make, and I'm loving the conversations that we're getting from it, of what makes a good side quest and all that stuff. Oh, he's right over here. There's a particular father and son. Oh no! That scream.
Someone's in trouble.
Oh, it's spiders. Was anybody in the spider stream the other night? Where I freaked out over being attacked by a spider? They would have been slaughtered if this were a GTA game. Yeah, agreed. We'll get to them. Don't let him get too far. Oh. Okay, there we go. Torgal, get him.
Keep your distance, boy. That's it.
Hey, Housecat Alex. Yes, we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that article you sent me in just a little bit. I absolutely loved it. It really clearly laid out the archetypes, the Jungian archetypes. I thought it was really, really good. Get them all. Yeah, that was a classic moment. That spider stream, as it will forever be known as. And actually, Alex, if you wouldn't mind, I would love for that. I would love for you to put that link in the chat so that people can look at it, because we will definitely be talking about it. Got him. I thought the crystal usage was too mundane, hee to fill a glass of water, dry laundry, light up some lanterns. Jill was walking towards the spider, doing literally 0 damage.
Worse if you weren't coming along. Wait, I've seen you around the hideaway. You're new, aren't you?
I'm Clive.
And I'm Martel. But what are you doing here?
Looking for you. This is no place for a bearer on her own.
I noticed that. But this soil's not going to collect itself.
Then what if I gathered it for you? You could head back to the hideaway. Just exactly what sort of dirt is it that you need?
What I need is soil. But I'd be a fool to refuse your help after what just happened. It's the good stuff you're looking for.
The dirt.
Dark, rich, fragrant.
Somebody in the comments of my video mentioned
Rich and fragrant.
nobody likes going to gather dirt.
Right.
We're at the quest, y'all. This is the gathering dirt one. I don't mind it, but
Bohemil seemed worried enough that he might come looking for you himself.
That seems unlikely.
plants gotta grow, baby. We gotta go get that dirt, that good dirt, premium dirt. That's what we're talking about. I love it.
Soil then.
Here's some soil.
Certainly enough of it here. But is it dark, rich, and fragrant?
One of the funniest things about this is their emphasis on how the grapes look here. I love it. After the Final Fantasy XIV grape fiasco, if you don't know about it, Google Final Fantasy XIV grapes. They were some of the ugliest grapes that have ever been rendered. It's funny. What is percent no spoilers? I don't know. Streamlabs is streamlabbing tonight. Oh, there it is. Handful of dirt.
That should be enough.
Soil.
Gotta get it back to the hideaway.
Okay, back to the hideaway, and then it is off to the shadow. So everybody, if you are new to the chat, if you are new to this game, a couple of things that just to kind of bring you up to speed. This is Clive. He's been through a lot. He's faced some trauma. He is what's known as a dominant, but we're not really sure what he is representing. We'll find out a little bit later tonight. Dominants have a pretty unique and kindred relationship with these divine kind of gods, whereas they can manifest and house as vessels these gods. And one of our big kind of assumptions, not really assumptions, but theories in this chat is that these iconic gods represent attribute of divine gods that we see in the real world. So whether you are familiar with myths or Judeo-Christian, Jewish, Hebrew, or Christian stories, or Hindu stories, ancient Near Eastern cultures, that sort of thing, these gods oftentimes represent different attributes. And they're attributes that have both a good and a shadow side, I guess. And tonight we're kind of talking about the shadow side. Anybody remember, just this is like me doing my teacher thing. Anybody remember we've talked about Garuda, we've talked about Rama a little bit, and we've talked about Ifrit a little bit. Do you remember the divine attributes of each of those that we talked about?
There you are. And all safe and sound.
Thank you, Alex, for the link.
Oh, yes, she's standing right there.
Not the girl. The soil. Did you bring it?
Yes. Here.
Clive's trauma is not as great as the blacksmith trauma. Ain't that the truth? Ain't nobody need a therapist like the blacksmiths in this game need a therapist.
I almost had a fit. But with this, my research can continue. First and foremost come the measurements. I must know how much ether each sample contains. From there...
Wait, so you were never...
Worried about me? Sorry to disappoint you, but the only thing he worries about is his research.
But that's...
That's all right. It's just how he is. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be growing anything in these ruins. It's a small price to pay.
Garuda control, Rama, protection and provision, yeah, Ifrit, Wrath, yeah. And there's a bunch of others, but this is kind of where we were sort of centering in some of these conversations. Yeah, great job, Rings, or Lady.
I wish I could offer you some fruit too, but you're not likely to thank me if I do. Still, we'll grow something worth eating one of these days, and when we do, you'll have first pick.
That's a good looking apple. I had an apple salad tonight for dinner, among other things. All right, now it's time. It's time to go face our shadow, everybody. Hope you're excited. I am. Hello, friends. Oh, treasure. Oh wait, let's get our good iconic abilities first. Extra credit. I am checking to see if people did the reading. For sure, for sure. Let's see, we're gonna have a little bit of Phoenix. We liked Phoenix last time. A little bit. Let's see, we also enjoyed Odin. Let's get Odin in there. And not with Satellite though. We don't want that. Let's do Heaven's Cloud is pretty good. We'll keep that. And then sorry Rama, we don't want you very much. Bahamut, Shiva, or Titan? Let's do Shiva. I really like lightning rod, don't I? I'll do impulse on that because I like that one. We are not going to do that. No, we're going to do heat wave and gouge. I don't know. Flames of rebirth is just fine. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's do it. Hello, friend.
I fear that the old road to Phoenix Gate was lost to the Blight many years ago.
I know.
Have care out there.
All right, so while we are about to start traveling, it's time for us to start thinking about the shadow. So we have seen Clive, and let me focus on my face for a second. So we've seen Clive take on a couple of different forms. He has faced a lot of trauma in his life, and one of the things that this game is kind of connecting him with is this large entity known as Ifrit, and it is this demon-looking, demonic-looking monster. But it's an iconic god, and it is a second icon of fire, the first being the Phoenix. The Phoenix was Clive's brother Joshua, who Clive saw Ifrit kill when he was younger. Now Clive was supposed to be his brother's shield, and so that was kind of his origin story in the prologue of this game. With Ifrit, there's a couple of things to note. In fact, you may know. What do you know about Ifrit from lore, from mythology and folk tales, and also from religious traditions? What do you think Ifrit is calling to? Those of you that have been in the stream a little bit, I would love to know your thoughts on that. But as we move forward, we're going to begin seeing this relationship between Clive and Ifrit, whom in the last stream we decided is correlated with wrath. This intense, wrathful judgment, wrathful action, wrathful persona that that is embodied in him. So tonight, as we move forward, let's kind of keep that in our mind. Clive, shadow self, Ifrit, and this relationship with the divine, as well as his own story of sadness over his brother. All right, let's go.
You? Those are Elwyn's.
Ifrit is a type of jinn, but don't know much about them. Yeah.
Clive Rosfield.
Anybody got any ideas about the jinn?
Oh, you can't fool me, my lord. You're the very image of your father. And that would be true even if you weren't wearing his clothes. The self-same garments Hannah was keeping for you, if I'm not
One
mistaken.
second, this is kind of an interesting piece.
That she would never part with them until the day Elwyn's sons returned. And now that day has come. Why, you'll be able to take your bearers back as well.
My bearers? Forgive me, Master Mayor. I was a child when last I came to Eastpool. I didn't recognize you.
Oh, I'd be surprised if you recognized anything at all. Much has changed since Rosaria fell to the Empire. Not least for the bearers, who once served her noble families. When the Ironbloods sacked Rosalith 13 years back, many who lost their masters fled here in search of sanctuary.
And never returned.
Aye. The plan was to send them home once we'd won back the capital. But then the Imperials arrived. Rosaria became a province of Sanbreque. The duchy was dissolved, and they no longer had any home to return to. Back in your father's day, any bearer who lost their master became a ward of the duchy. We'd hand them over to the sheriffs, and they'd be assigned a new position. But when we saw how the Empire treated their branded, we knew that wasn't an option. So they've been here ever since.
And now you want to give them to me?
They're yours by right, Lord Rosfield. Bequeathed you by your late father. And they'd be better off serving you than hiding here. Indeed, many of them used to serve your house, and still considered the Rosfields their masters.
I'm no one's master. Not anymore. They wouldn't be safe with me.
I understand. You'll forgive an old man his fanciful notions. Been daydreaming for too long. But still, I would ask a favor of you. A small mercy.
If it is within my power.
One of the bearers is an elderly fellow who still
This is kind of a sweet quest. I see the chat. I'm gonna hop in a second.
I don't ask that you take
Once
him
this
into your
cutscene's over.
service, only that you meet with him. Let him see that Elwyn's son still lives, and that he's as fine a man as his father ever was.
It would be my honor.
Thank you, my lord. He sits by the well most days, watching the people go about their business. If you could show him your face, I would be most grateful.
All right, chat's lighting up, so I need to talk about it real quick.
Man is my father.
You're not so very different, you know.
Oh, thank you, Jill.
Especially dressed like that. Come on, let's go and meet that bearer.
So, a couple of things. Let's see. Is it okay to talk about Ifrit and Clive? So, since Clive turned into Ifrit for the Garuda battle, I feel like that's pretty fair. Ifrit or Ifrit is a Islamic demon, right? Or an Arabic myth? Yeah, both. In Islam and then also in just Arabian folktales and myths, the jinn is essentially like a demon, but it's also more like a genie. And I think somebody mentioned that. A lady says where we get the word genie. And so that is where it kind of evolved into. Also know that jinn is a spirit or a ghost. Yeah, there's some of that as well. It's really interesting how this idea of jinn has kind of evolved. What began as kind of this in some ways deceiver or trickster or kind of this hidden being, a sort of divine character, but also a being that kind of causes some trouble and chaos. Eventually this idea of a jinn kind of took on forms of kind of like an antithesis to the divine, to God in some ways. And this is not unheard of in a lot of traditions throughout history, where you've got all of these gods, and these gods begin to take on or be assimilated into a belief system. And so you get Jews, Hebrews that are kind of assimilating some of these attributes of the ancient Near Eastern gods into their own mythos, right? And I think it's kind of interesting. So we do kind of get with a jinn these kind of demonic figures. In fact, sometimes there are some depictions of Baal, eventually Beelzebub, that look strikingly like what we see as Ifrit in this game. So, interesting stuff. But I would say that jinns are usually kind of these supernatural characters of chaos, bringers, harbingers of chaos in some ways.
He's not here.
Well, I can't leave without meeting him. I've let the mayor down once already. It will be cruel to disappoint him again.
Right, let's ask around. Someone must have seen him.
I've only recently discovered Gnostic mysticism, but aren't there archons akin to jinns from Hindu? Yeah, and one specifically challenges the Gnostic false god Yaldabaoth. Yeah, I mean, you do get some of that as well. So I will tell you now, I know some regarding Gnosticism. I know enough to be dangerous, I guess, with Gnosticism. But also, I know primarily its influence on Christianity in the earliest days of Christianity. So that is kind of where my interests lie. Now, where it intersects with other cultures and stuff, I get a little bit. That is less my expertise, I guess. So, yeah, there we go. But anyway, if you've got more to say on that, Alex, I'd love to hear it.
Well now, unfamiliar faces. What brings you to Eastpool, travellers?
We're looking for an elderly bearer. You wouldn't happen to have seen him, would you?
Ah, you mean the old boy who always waits by the well?
The old boy. Yes, that's him.
What business do you have with him, if you don't mind me asking? You're not from the capital too, are you?
We are, in a way.
Well,
in a way.
It's a pleasure to meet a fellow Rosalithian. I was born and raised down Market
fellow
Street.
Rosalithian.
I never would have left if Archduke Elwyn had survived the fire. It wasn't the same when the Duchess took over, though.
I don't know why my thing
Eatings, the evictions.
Oh my gosh! 50 Shades of Babe, thank you so much for subbing at tier 1. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir.
I can't help you with your bearer either, though I doubt he'll have gone far. He comes here every day. Almost.
That's awesome. Appreciate the subbing.
We'll keep asking around then. Thank you.
All right, let's keep searching for this guy. Ambush from above.
Good day, milady. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a bearer, an elderly fellow who used to serve the Rosfields. Have you seen him?
Ah, that old loon. No sign of him today. Funny.
To be honest with you, I really just wanted to do some combat. I'm ready for some combat at this point.
Fantasy feasts.
I'm sorry?
Oh, he worked in the kitchens at Rosalith Castle back in the day. Still thinks he's there now. You'd often hear the poor fool chatting away to the Archduke. Living in a dream he is. But better there than here, I suppose. Can't imagine the Viceroy stopping to trade tales with a bearer. Can you?
No.
Anyway, you'll be around here somewhere. Doubt he has the
I think that we've taken care of the spider problem, okay? Like, I don't know what that was about, but when that spider came down from the ceiling, oh my gosh, my blood
Young Patrick
stopped. It froze.
Might know where he is. He's taken the old
Young Patrick, the chocobo keeper.
So to speak. He'll be in the stables. You should go and have a word with them.
Leon's ready for the
we will.
Carl Jung archetypes. Let's do it. Hey, hit us with it. We're going to be ready for it.
Making you do all this in my stead.
It can't be helped if we're to keep up the pretense. Come on, let's head for the stables.
Come on, Jill. We got it. Never got into the weeds of the mythos of the Gnosticism. Yeah. Early effects on the Christian church formation. Yeah, it's a big deal. Big deal. Especially when you get to, like, the Gospel of John and the letters of John.
Excuse me, but is something the matter?
It's this bearer I've been minding. I take my eyes off him for 1 minute and he disappears. He's not in his usual spot by the well, nor anywhere else in the village.
Let me get my notes out. Yeah.
I am.
Let's have a group discussion on the guy.
This bearer you're looking for. He's an elderly man who used to work in the Rosalith Castle kitchens, yes?
That's the fella. How do you know all this? I've never seen you in Eastpool before, but you seem to know the place better than I do myself.
Are you psychology background like me too? Striking the tone shift from this town to others. Yeah, it really is,
Well,
isn't it?
If you're acting under orders of the
Look at this
mayor,
guy's
you're on
clothes.
about to help me find him. He's been losing
That's
what little
50
sense he had
Shades
left
of
of
Blue.
late, saying the sheriffs are coming to collect him and that he needs to go back to the castle. I was supposed to watch over him, keep him out of trouble.
Only
But if he's
concern, no
walked out on
disdain.
us,
Yeah.
There's not a lot I can do.
You're right. It is. Pretty striking shift.
Understood. You keep searching here. We'll look for him outside.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Thank you. I'm in your debt.
You know, everybody's got good voice acting in this game. Like, it may be the best
I hope he hasn't wandered into trouble.
voice acted game I've ever played, like across the board. Like there's been some great games, but across the board, every character, nobody phones it in this game. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, he's out in the clearing. Okay. Yeah, I've got a buddy, a colleague at the University of North Alabama, who did his dissertation on the shadow self and also kind of Carl Jung archetypes and Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft. So kind of like identity and agency in creating an avatar and living that out. And so he actually studied a bunch of participants in his research as they kind of delved into their own psyches. Really, really cool, interesting stuff.
There's someone over there.
It might be him. We should hurry.
It's definitely the best voice actor game I've ever played. Yeah. Feels like I'm coming into class and missed my homework. Kuruai, listen, you are right where you need to be. We're going to catch you up and let you know exactly what you need to know. Unlike class, we're going to cut out the boring parts. That's the goal.
That's enough.
Oh, look at that. That was good. That was real good. Final Fantasy mode. What? Get him, boy. It's over. There's Jill doing nothing. Facing entirely the wrong way. Love you, Jill, but join the fight. As we do, House Cat Alex, diving into Jung recreationally and therapeutically. You know, that's what we do. Spare moment, let's dive.
Are you all right, my friend? Come on. Let's go home.
Your Grace, you came for me.
The NPC AI.
You finally came.
This is definitely a single player, one guy,
Clive.
one man story. Oh, Ven.
Yes. Pray forgive my long delay.
It's nothing, Your Grace. I prayed to the Founder that you would come, and at long last, he answered. Will we be returning to the castle then?
This is a sweet quest.
There is still a place for me in the kitchens?
No, my friend. We will not be returning to the castle, not yet. I'm on a very important expedition, one which may take some time. Could you wait for me in Eastpool until my journey is complete? I will come back for you then. I promise.
Oh.
Of course, Your Grace. For you, I would gladly wait until my dying day.
That's such a sweet quest.
Thank you, both of you. You've been most kind. The memory of serving the late Archduke was as one light in the darkness, and now that light burns a little more brightly. It's nothing but a fantasy, of course, but it's better than the truth of the matter. A damn sight better. The blight is on our doorstep. Our harvests are failing. The people are leaving in droves. If it weren't for Lady Hannah selling half her worldly goods to provide for the few of us who stayed behind, we would long since have starved. We want to keep the bearers safe here, we really do. But unless a miracle happens, we won't be able to spare a crust of bread to share between them soon enough.
Is it really that bad?
So bad, I even petitioned the Imperial garrison to take them. But when they found out where they'd come from, they damn near spat in our faces. Ducal dogs, they called them. Enemies of the Empire.
I know a man named Sid, who would gladly give a home to any bearer in need of one. Leave this with me. As soon as I return from Phoenix Gate, I'll speak with him.
Thank you, my lord. Will you be passing through Eastpool on your way back? I should very much like to speak with you again, if you have the time.
You sweet man.
Regarding the future of the village, and what might be done for Lady Hannah. After all, she's done for us.
Yes, of course. I'll be back anon.
Anon.
Well, my lord.
We don't say anon enough.
I wish you a safe journey.
That quest brings up a really interesting point. You know, you get this older gentleman who believes that Clive is his father, Elwyn. He used to work for his father, you know, Elwyn. But he thinks that Clive is Elwyn returned. And, you know, there's kind of two ways of thinking about this. Do you let him know, hey, my father's dead, it's me, you know, I'm Clive, I'm not him. Do you say that, or do you allow him to believe this fantasy because it kind of helps him in the moment? You know, there's different thoughts on that sort of thing. What do you think? Just from like a ethical and compassionate standard, what do you think?
The Deadlands are aptly named.
I didn't realize they were this close.
No wonder their crops are failing. The blight is leaching the ether from the soil. And when the last drop is drained, their fields will turn to this. No plants, no animals, no life.
And no monsters. I suppose that's one small mercy.
Brings me such a great sense of comfort knowing there will be a man named Sid in Final Fantasy games.
As if the absence of ether didn't cause enough problems.
Take away the land's life force, and problems are all that's left.
Take away the land's life force, and
imagine what this place used to look like before the blight took it.
I remember.
Gosh.
It was beautiful.
So I'll tell you a story. When I was in grad school, I volunteered at both a hospital as a chaplain and then also in nursing homes. And it was kind of interesting. I frequently got situations like what Clive just experienced in Eastpool. And you'd be dealing with, you'd be visiting residents, clients, and patients whose memory would falter and sometimes just would never really kind of get back on track. And there were countless times when someone thought that I would be like their grandson, or some old friend. And at first, I was pretty like reticent to it. I would kind of be like, no, like I'm Wade. I'm here volunteering and helping the day. But the more I got into it, the more I realized that in that moment, it really meant more for me to be their grandson, for me to be that old friend. And I got permission from the nurses and all that kind of stuff. I was like, is that best? And they were like, yeah, it's just better to kind of live into that, with specific patients and stuff. But similar to what Clive does here, it really was this moment of like, you are helping them in a memory that they never have, or that they are not able to have, but they still hold on to. So kind of an interesting piece. Yeah, kind of a pastoral care lesson there, isn't that right? Sort of similar situation, another game you played with the main character's old relative believed to be their father. Yeah. Chose to play along to ease their thoughts. I think there's something to that.
There it is. Phoenix Gate. Where it all went wrong.
Come on, Clive. It's time to discover the truth.
Oh, man. Good line. All right, Lee and Crescent, you've brought up some good things. This is a great moment for us to stop for a second, have a miniature lecture about this. So let's chat about it. Leon, you're exactly right. Leon says, okay, so from a psychological background, the shadow refers to you, the part of you that you deny and reject, the part that you hide in public. At most, it's the negative part of ourselves, but it's not exclusively our negative traits, the part of ourselves that we hide. Jung symbolizes it as our shadow, so kind of a shadow self, our shadow. Jung also uses symbol to explain the parts of psychology now going back, part of a back on topic. The more we reject that part of us, the more it will control us subconsciously. And that's, gosh, that is powerfully accurate there in a lot of ways. Sorry, my thoughts are cut short because 500 character limit. That's okay. That's okay. We appreciate what you've given us so far. I was reminded of that exact same game. Nice. Kurai, I'm struggling with phone typing. Oh, no worries. No worries. The mind is a fickle beast. Some people prefer to ignore truth because it's easier when willful ignorance can be a vice. But when it's intentional, it's almost a mercy since it's out of anyone's control. All right, so there's a couple things that I want to mention here. And feel free to keep on jumping in with different thoughts in the chat here as well. But here's what I'll say about this. The shadow self, according to Carl Jung, is that part of yourself that you try to deny, that part of yourself that most of us try to repress and keep hidden from everyone, locked away in the attic or basement or whatever. And one of the things that he says, I'm actually going to give you a few quotes from Jung here. And here's what it says. And I mentioned these on Thursday's episode, I guess. Is that what we're calling them? Episodes? Whatever. So here's what he says. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The latter procedure, however, is disagreeable and therefore not popular. Yeah, that's exactly right. If anybody has ever come into contact with that shadow self, or that shadow self has been exposed to others, especially like in a unwilling sort of fashion, it just kind of happened or was inevitable, discovered, then you know how painful that can be. He also says, unfortunately, there can be no doubt that man is, on the whole, less good than he imagines himself or wants to be. Everyone carries a shadow, and the less that it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, listen to this, the less it's embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. At all counts, it forms an unconscious snag, thwarting our most well-meant intentions. And so one of the things that he says is that there needs to be some level of acceptance an integration of the shadow into one's self. And so he describes that there's these two parts of the self. You've got the persona, what you are conveying and want to be conveyed to the outside world, and then you've also got the shadow, which is this inside part of you that you try to keep hidden for whatever reason. And these two things seem to constantly be at odds with one another. Now, in a moment, I'll talk about how this relates to the game. I'm going to read a couple of other things. The psychological rule, he says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. That is to say, when the individual remains undivided and does not become conscious of his inner opposite, the world must perforce act out the conflict and be torn into opposing halves. Absolutely wild. And then finally, this is where I really want to lean in here. He says, it is the dark, inaccessible part of our personality. What little we know of it, we have learned from our study of the dream work, and of course, the construction of neurotic symptoms, and most of that is of a negative character, and can be described only as a contrast to the ego. We approach the id, as he calls it, the id, with analogies. We call it a chaos inside us, a cauldron full of seething excitations. It is filled with energy reaching it from the instincts, but it has no organization. It produces no collective will, but only a striving to bring about the satisfaction of the instinctual needs subject to the observance of the pleasure principle. Whew, boy, that's important stuff. The shadow is that part of you in some degree that is compulsory and compelled to be satisfying this chaos. Now, when it relates to a philosophy of religion, this is kind of how it relates to this game and the story of this game. When it relates to a philosophy of religion is this: in most religions, in most spiritual practices, there is a desire of subjugating and repressing this shadow self. Now, this comes to odds with what we've just heard. The repression of the shadow self, to Carl and other psychologists and psychoanalysts, the repression of the self, just like squeezing an orange, for example, the juices are going to flow out. To repress the self means that that shadow characteristic, those compulsory pleasure principle narratives, those are going to ooze out of the person. And when it oozes out of the person, a person may not even realize that that is what happens. It's really, really interesting. It's important to note that the shadow is not bad. This is not necessarily the evil inside a person. Instead, it is the part of ourselves that is relentlessly compulsory and seeking, maybe in variety of ways, to ease that chaos of sorts. So what happens, and we see this a lot with religious communities, the repression of this shadow self, that part that may or may not necessarily be negative, but that part that is the seedbed of maybe shame and guilt, but not necessarily so. When that is repressed, it begins to come out. I think this is why we see kind of excruciatingly, continually, that we find some religious communities that try to repress certain things ultimately begin to be exposed for being guilty of those things. We see pastors, we see rabbis, we see priests and devout figures that espouse some kind of ideology, but in fact they are pointing out, condemning something that exists within themselves. We see this in politicians, right? They write legislation that is going to bring down a certain group of people or whatever, but it's a neglecting of their own needs, and they're condemning it in the world outside of them. Okay. and this is a really, really important piece, I think, for this for this study, but also for religious study in general. Perhaps it's not the repression that is as necessary as the acceptance of one's fallibility. Now, we're getting kind of heady here. We're getting kind of philosophical here. So hold on, bear with me. It's not the repression that needs to happen, but it is the vivifying. It's the embrace, the acceptance, and the controlled acceptance of this inner shadow. Okay? And only when the persona and the shadow seem to meet and have full integration is someone able to overcome and find mastery of them, of their full selves. I think it's a really fascinating piece. It's helped me in a lot of ways in my life, and in my own religious journey, it's helped me understand that, in my tradition, in the Christian tradition and Judeo-Christian tradition, there's an emphasis on sin and sin avoidance, but there's not a lot of conversation about temptation and how every temptation appeals to a good desire, perhaps a God-given or a very human desire. And there are ways of satisfying that desire that are good, and there are some that are harmful or unhealthy or unproductive. And I think that instead of saying, this is not who I am, this is not what I do, instead saying, there's a humanity, a human side of this that I need to integrate and kind of bring some control to that chaos. Kind of an interesting thing. Let me check out what chat has to say. Y'all been talking. In order to move forward, Omega says you must fully accept all that you are, and it's by accepting your inner shadow and not run away. Ooh, yeah, that's good. As not only will you move one, you'll be one step forward in reaching the truth. Oh man, that's so good. I love that. Let's see. Leon, to continue, the shadow is not evil, bad, or wrong, but it's something that we will have to address. Snaps for that. By accepting those parts of ourselves, we can safely express those parts, and not in a destructive way without harming others or ourselves. This is the same journey Clive is going through, especially what we're going to see later. L3 plus R3, baby. Yeah, we're ready for that moment. We're ready. I thought about doing the lecture at that moment, but I felt like the tension would be too high, right? It's just going to be so good. Again, hey, Leon, you're so good. No. This is an open forum. I've got to build that Discord. I'll give you a link to a Discord before the end of the night so we can continue these conversations. If finding the needs that have been neglecting and learning to meet them in a more wholesome way so the compulsion doesn't become so overwhelming. I love that, Alex. I love it. Oh my gosh, Noctis, in my class the other day we reviewed Jung and spoke about the ideas of living unconsciously, but blah, blah, blah. At the bottom of my notes it says face our demons and see our genius. Oh my gosh, and no joke below that it says Clive accepts or the L3 plus R3. I love that. I love it. It's much more difficult to stop a river than it is to divert it elsewhere. Hey, listen, I have a Discord. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat because I'm afraid that I'm going to forget. It has been largely unused for the longest time. So I'm actually going to send everybody a link in the chat right now so that we can do this. Okay, so there's copy. I think that was it. Yeah. So I'm going to invite everybody now, and it's going to be great. We love it. And I'm going to put it right over here. I'm supposed to put it in a way that's relevant to our Clive here. You can't put out a fire by covering it up with a cloth, or else the fire spreads and smoke starts rising. I absolutely love that. Okay, here's the link for those of you that are in Twitch. I don't know if that went out to YouTube, but there it is for everybody. And you can kind of see it over here. I don't know if you can copy and paste it on the video, but anyway, if you want to go there, just go ahead and hop in there. I haven't created categories. I'm sorry. I'm going to do that. We're going to have a different category for all the different iconic gods, as well as all of the different lectures that we've had so that you can chime in accordingly and stuff. Hopefully I'll do that when we get off stream tonight. But yeah, everybody, like, this is just your quick crash course in some of this stuff. It's so much deeper than this, but this is like a drive-by, drive-through of this stuff. It's like pointing out the window, like, oh, that's pretty. Like, there's a whole ocean, a whole iceberg out there of this stuff that we're just not going to be able to get into tonight. But hopefully you will find it interesting, maybe study it for yourself, and also Google this stuff, you know? I mean, this is really good stuff, but I've got some great resources for you. I was reading a little bit earlier today. There's a book called Psychology in Final Fantasy, or the Psychology of Final Fantasy, and it doesn't exactly talk about this, but it does get around it in a lot of different things, by a colleague named Anthony Bean, PhD. He is absolutely phenomenal, and this book is really, really good, and it discusses some of these things, so you can find that on Amazon. I'll put that in the Discord as well. Okay, so let's find the flame, and let's accept our fate, shall we? Good discussion, everybody. This was great. This is great. Y'all did your homework. I love that. That's so good. Look at those mountains. This game is so pretty, y'all. This game is so pretty. I've been opened up already, but yeah, I will.
It's almost as if time had stood still.
I suppose no one had any cause to return here. No. It's just as
Is the audio gone? Check, check. Uh-oh. Hang on. Okay, 1 second. Refresh Twitch. Gone? Check, check, check. Can you hear me?